Hey guys, welcome to this episode of my podcast, The Next You, your podcast for self development and purpose. Today, I want to talk about perfectionism. And when I say that, let me start right away because, I forgot to tell you, if you like this podcast, then hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, spread the word so that this content can reach others. And now I could have started this podcast again because I forgot to mention that. But here we are talking about perfectionism, right? Which is a perfect example of it. So, yeah, why do I mention this? I see that many times working with my clients, perfectionism is something that's holding them back. It is something where they get stuck and they think they need to be perfect. They think they need to know something very well before they speak it out. So this could be in a relationship context. I'm not really sure where this will go. I'm not really sure how I can talk to my partner about this and that, and I really want to make it good, or this kind of present might not be good enough, or I need to plan a better weekend, or this surprise is not good enough. You see, there are just many ideas that come into my mind. So, where you can see in a relationship context, perfectionism can hold you back. Next, work. Well, this was not good enough. I better don't show this presentation to my boss. I better don't share this or that. I better don't apply to this job position because I'm not good enough. So there's a huge limiting belief behind all of that in terms of believing your self-worth that you're not good enough. And that's holding you back. And I can relate because one of my major inner saboteurs is perfectionism, which is why I'm talking about it. And you can say, oh, this guy is a coach, he knows all about it. But that doesn't mean that I don't have saboteurs and that I am not struggling with this kind of things, Exposing myself to the world out there in coaching is a daily and weekly thing where I see where my perfectionism and my way of handling it is. I get a direct response. Perfectionism probably we all have it in a certain way. Now, what is the one thing you can do to work on your perfectionism? And it's something that is really powerful and simple. It is by prioritizing action over thinking. Find little actions in your daily life, work life, relationship life, just other areas of your life where you see that your perfectionism shows up very strongly. And find little things that you would do that can prove that you're wrong about not being enough. So give me an example. If you have at work an idea and you're hesitating to share it with your boss, well, put a time in your calendar when you're going to share it with them as a personal experience. Hey, this is not about getting feedback from your boss that you are the greatest. No. This is about overcoming your internal barrier of sharing something like that. Overcoming your fear, overcoming this pattern of always prioritizing safety. Go out there and try something new. You will create an experience and you will be surprised probably what your superior will tell you about it. So it is about taking those little steps and then going back to yourself and saying, you see, now I did it. I overcome my fear. And what was behind it? Well, nothing bad really happened. And those are the little moments in which you can work on your, courage muscle to overcome those little barriers of your perfect mind, the perfectionism in you. And I want to encourage you to take those little steps. They help me overcoming my fears again and again. So here's another thing I do. I use journaling, but I'm not writing pages and pages per day. I make it very short. So in the morning, I choose a focus. What do I want to focus on today? And sometimes I use those kind of moments because I know today there is this moment where I can show courage and I can overcome my perfectionism. So I use that and put it as an intention in the morning. And in the evening, I'm reflecting about negative thoughts that I had because I'm not spending a lot of time on that, but I want to document negative thoughts because I can have learnings from it. And right next to it, I'm writing down what I learned today. And most of the times, those two are related to each other. And so that's how I work with my perfectionism. I set an intention for the day associated to it. And then in the evening, I reflect about it. What were the negative thoughts that came up in that moment? So I get to know myself better. And then I can translate that into a learning. And writing this down and reflecting it, what have I, thought about negatively in the last 1 or 2 weeks and what were my learnings, is an incredibly powerful tool that you just create for yourself. So I hope this prioritizing of action over safety and that little journaling tip will help you to get to know a little bit your perfectionism and to take inspired actions to overcome it. I hope this was helpful. I hope to hear from you what you learned from this, and I hope to see you soon on this podcast. Take care. Bye.